What's good, everybody? It is time for another Fair Shake review. And this time, we're going to be talking about The Forever Story by JID. JID. JID, man. Ah, JID has easily become one of my favorite newer artists. I know he's been around since at least as a it's from Dreamville ever since 2017, 16, 17 around there. And but like he's now starting to really make his break, I feel. And this project is literally the perfect thing for him to break with, as this is kind of like a sequel to The Never Story, which was his debut with Dreamville. And yeah, let's just hop right into it. This starts off with Galaxy, which is a beautiful start, with the vocals and the that he has commissioned to do this, since it is some female vocals. And then it just quickly gets interrupted by a phone call with the dude calling JID fake after the fame. But yeah, then it gets into Radar, and yeah, as Screwface John would say, I haven't got to watch his reaction yet. I know what's up, but as Screwface John would say, this is definitely the combination of righteous and ratchet. The first half of this has him talking about has JID basically talking about his own versatility and kind of variety, in talking on a variety of societal issues in America. And I feel like the second half kind of focuses on kind of more street tough talk on a very on an ever shifting beat, and I dig it. It's a great track to finally hear JID start spitting. Then we get into Dance Now. This single boy, hard, bruh. And it's just talking about his current mindset and a little bit on his upbringing, but oh my gosh, the flows, the punchlines, you don't know how many times I've been saying, I'm a rant when I talk to Ja. I've been I've been saying it so much. Dance now, dance now. Woo. I'm not a two-stepping man. I said I do not dance. There's a god that's cyber pants, and the world is in his hands. There's so much quotables in this. It's so good. It's so good. But yeah, love Dance Now. Hard single. Then we get Crack Sandwich, which is an even more detailed track on his upbringing, with his 6 brothers and sisters, and how they will basically support and fight for each other. And the second verse mainly kind of talks about his own gift of gab, but he does sprinkle in some of the gifts that his other siblings have, but mainly about how they will stick up for each other. Then we get Can't Punk Me with Earth Gang, and they basically are clearly stating that they've had tough upbringings that makes them familiar with violence that may require weaponry. And my only problem with this is that Dr. Dot does seem to get a little off topic and a little off flow in the second half of his verse, but I still return back to it because the track overall is freaking ill. Then we get Surround Sound, which was another single, which is a dope flip on the Aretha Franklin joint that was for Ms. Fat Booty by Mos Def, now Yasin Bey. And yeah, JID and 21 Savage basically talk about some street life stuff, with a very quick appearance with Baby Tate on here. And then the last verse has a beat switch that has JID state that he's basically a hood dude who just happened to get into rap. And I like it. I like it a lot. Up next we get Cody Blue 31. Oh, this is such a beautiful ode to kind of keep your head up through the tough times, with the title also being in dedication to his friend's son who died too young. And yeah, it just has to deal with a lot of loss and trying to continue on despite it. very beautiful, and it's a track where JID sings and does it so freaking well. I was very surprised. But then we get into Bud and Them with Lil Durk, and this is all about kind of like the loyalty he has to his brothers, Blood and found brothers, found family, that loyalty even brings him to the links of violent activities. And Lil Durk also talks about the same thing, even though he has lost two of his brothers due to gang violence. So yeah, it's heavily talking about that. Digs it though. System them comes in though, where it's more talk with his sister, who kind of warned him about the violence in the streets and the fame and fortune that he's getting into. Then we get into Can't Make You Change, which starts off as a slower jam of how JID is slowly trying to change to be a better companion to his girl, but the last section does see him slip into infidelity, which is kind of like the last straw for his mate. And it's not a bad song, but it's just too long. I feel like the chorus and the post-chorus could definitely be cut in half to make it a little bit better for repeat listens, and Ari's singing on it is beautiful. But it's just, to repeat those lines so many times in this, I felt was just a little, it's just a little grating on me. But next we get Stars, which has Yasin Bey. So he was very happy to be able to make that connection happen after sampling Miss Fat Booty. But here, the first part has JID kind of talking to this girl about all he's doing to achieve his dream to become a rap star, in hopes that she'll support him. And then the second part ends up having Yasin Bey come in, kind of describing the rap star status. And it is a pretty darn solid track. Then up next we get Just in Time, with Kenny Mason and Wayne basically making it very clear that right now they got the time for the smoke. They got time for the smoke. And Wayne does have a pretty darn good verse on here, but it's definitely not the best feature that I've heard from him this year. So he's done a lot of features. This one wasn't one of his best ones, but it's still good. Next we got Money. And here he's just really talking about how the role that money has played in his life, especially since he grew up without it. And it's a very nice song there that perfectly describes that. Then we get into Better Days with John to Austin, and this is basically talking about his career and how it's kind of blossomed, and he doesn't take it for granted, and he wishes to use this platform for good. Very beautiful track. Jonta has some wonderful vocals on it, and I am wrong. I read the wrong thing. But I mean, it is still kind of somewhat similar. No, but Better Days, is a song talking about his friend who got caught up in the streets and is now in jail. And JID kind of talks about how his rap path has brought him so much, and he kind of wishes he could share that happiness with his friend who just so happened to go the other direction. Then Lauder 2 is definitely talking about his career and how it blossomed and how he doesn't take it for granted, and he kind of wishes to use that platform for good. Then that is the last track that is up on streaming services, unless you count the actual closer to the project, 2007, on his YouTube channel, or on the Dreamville YouTube channel. And in here, in rap form, JID kind of tells the forever story of how he was initially interested in becoming a pro football player, but eventually he shifted to being a rapper and eventually got signed to Dreamville. And I think it's a wonderful retelling of that story that would have been a fantastic closer, and I wish that sample clearances weren't so difficult to get, because this would have been a perfect thing for most people to experience at the end of this project, but Lauder 2 is also still a fine close to the project as well. So, in summary, JID put together a super solid project that I feel got more personal than he did in DiCaprio 2, and I think it definitely did pick up where the Never story left off. JID's immaculate flows and dope beats really shine along with the healthy addition of his singing that I feel like I haven't heard him done so well before. Because he does more singing than just on Cody Blue 31. It does pop up on a couple of other tracks too, and he does it well. But yeah, this is honestly giving me the impression of a project that will have a lot of longevity. And even though there are very few missteps in this project, and there's a lot of songs that are going to be very easy to repeat and has the depth to catch more lines with repeat listens each time. So yeah, this is to me one of the top mainstream albums or mainstream adjacent albums that came out this year, and yeah, it's fighting up there along the likes of Denzel's project, Kendrick's project. This is one of them ones. And yeah, JID is coming out swinging, and I greatly appreciate having this body of work in my playlist now in my library. So hopefully you'll be adding it too. But tell me what you guys think down in the comments down below. What do you guys think of this project? What are your favorite tracks? I'd appreciate getting that information. If you liked this, you could also hit the like button. You could subscribe for more reactions and reviews here on the channel. I also have a Patreon if you'd like to support monetarily. So that is linked over here, patreon.com/splitmaster5. And also, if you want to support the leader of the crew, you can go to Muddy Colt Miko on Patreon to support her directly, and it would also be appreciated. But that's going to be it for today. So until next time, much love, peace.